Hello, my name is Mike Ward. I'm the head of content at Script, Pink Sheet and InVivo, and I'm here in Copenhagen at Bio Europe 2018. And I'm joined by Jennifer Wheat, who is the head of commercial development, mammalian and microbial manufacturing. So thanks for joining us, Jennifer. So you're with Lanza, and the company is well established in what's called contract development manufacturing. Okay, so could you sort of give us a sense of what's actually driving the CDMO space at the moment? Particularly with a lot of biotechs actually wanting to go it alone.
Yes, certainly. There are two trends that I see that are very current in terms of small and mid-sized biotechnology companies, which are affecting the market and affecting their needs in terms of either clinical or commercial manufacturing. So the first one is that there's a large diversity in the number of products these days, a greater diversity. There are more personalized medicines and oncologies, there are more types of products, more varied types of products such as bispecific, cell and gene therapy. Yeah. And so given these particular changes in the molecules, there are also changes in the manufacturing and development needs. And some of that has to do with modalities, some of it has to do with the scale, some of it has to do with the different delivery methods that these products require. Yeah. And they also are experiencing need for fast track approval. So they need people who are available to support them with these needs. And some of the challenge that these companies face are related to manufacturing, which I'll cover in a moment. Yeah. The second trend that we see, as you already pointed out, is that many of these companies are choosing to go it alone. So the small and mid-sized companies who used to rely on acquisition in order to commercialize their products are choosing to do it themselves. They still face the challenges they would have faced previously in terms of bringing this expertise inside. And the idea used to be keep all the brains inside and use the hands outside. But what's occurring now is they need to look for partners who can help them design their commercialization process and support these unique manufacturing requirements.
So that's the bit where the D in CDMO
yes.
comes from.
Yes.
So at what point do these aspirational biotechs, at what point do they come to you, or what point should they come to you?
Well, we love to hear from them at any stage. Some of them come to us before they have molecules. We can help them design a manufacturable molecule that still works in the clinic. We can get them through their preclinical and clinical manufacturing, but we can also help them see the future and design a commercialization plan for their product and help them defer their investments as appropriately, stage them appropriately until they have data on market uptake or clinical approvals.
So I could imagine that many companies, because a lot of them, they sort of almost have an ambition that actually the product is going to be partnered off at phase 2
yes.
to a big pharma company. Do you find that those biotechs are still sort of thinking about what the end product should look like?
To some degree, and we've been able to convince a lot of our clients that if they have a commercialization strategy, they already have a manufacturing partner, or they have a signed deal with us, even if they don't, that's of value to them in terms of partnering with the larger company and increases their valuation to potential buyers. So yes, some of those companies may not be thinking forward, but we try to encourage them to do so.
And if somebody hasn't thought about it, do you sometimes have to sort of retrospectively kind of go back to square one and
Sure, but that's what we do.
But how much sort of like development time is that actually cut for the originator company in the first place? I mean, do you have a kind of I'm just trying
yes.
to sort of get a sense of
yes.
the economics of making the right decision.
Yes, previously clients would just get a quick and dirty process in place because they can't afford to spend all their money on product which has a high rate of potential failure. Yeah. What we do is help them understand what you can do at each stage to ensure a bit of success at the next stage without going completely to the end stage up front. So we help them stage their approach so that they're not making mistakes early on that will be more costly to correct later when, of course, as you're heading into phase 3, you can't afford a year's worth of development time. So we try to do as much as possible without doing too much before you get to that stage.
And how do you choose as as a company like Lanza to which programs you're actually going to select, because clearly that there's probably a vision that if this program is successful, then you might actually then be the manufacturers of the commercial quantities. So is there a sort of a selection process?
I think
how does it work?
Oh, it's a great question. I think what we would like to try to do is have everybody working with us from the beginning to the end. Our big advantage is we have manufacturing facilities on all continents. We've got small, mid, and large scale in addition to the early preclinical. And what we want to do, as you said, is introduce people to that network early, and if they continue on, stay with us. We do realize that products will fail. Some people have one product, some people have pipelines. We just try to help them envision and support them as a partner rather than just a manufacturer per se, to see how they can get through those products. And of course there will be an attrition rate, but there are plenty of other products in the pipeline. So.
And of course, I mean, what we've sort of seen is we've seen some sort of I mean, you mentioned it earlier on about sort of the gene therapies, we've got the cell therapies, the CAR Ts, etc. How does a company like Lanza actually sort of keep up to date with what's going on, or actually sort of almost anticipating future trends?
Yes, so of course we have standard market intelligence. We also have a lot of market development teams who are looking forward to see what the trends are. And we're not just talking to our clients. We have actually invested in a group called Future Technologies, which is not just looking at new manufacturing technologies, but looking at some of the newer types of products and technologies and deliveries. Even something as forward-thinking as exosomes, which could theoretically displace cell-based manufacturing in the future. So we're always looking for those things.
So that Future Technologies, that's an internal group within Lanza?
Yes, an internal group within Lanza, focusing on product-based technologies. We're not launching our own products, but it's focused on clients' products as well as manufacturing. And we're also looking at new business models to help these companies. There's a plethora of opportunities or options we can provide people, but we try to look again at a model which helps the smaller, mid-sized, and large-scale companies so that they will stay with us going forward and help them see the advantages of having access to that.
So you're meeting here sort of as sort of a lead generation, or?
Lead generation, contact with companies that we're already working with, and mostly telling people, because Lanza is such an established company, letting them know all the new things that we have, because we're really evolving and growing, as I said, just to meet the market needs, because I think I've been in biotech for 35 years, and this is the most change I've seen in the shortest amount of time in the last year or two.
Great. Well, Jennifer, thanks very much for
Pleasure. Thank you
by.
so much.
Thank you.